In 1989, I first met Andrew Weatherall in the office of Jeff Barrett. We hit it off immediately through mutual love of punk rock, post-punk, and The Clash. A few months later, I interviewed Andrew and his best friend and co-editor of the fantastic Boys' Own fanzine, Terry Farley, in a pub in London, where we talked about the scene, acid house, DJing, and their newfound career of remixing.
Like footballing credentials, I didn't fight at Chelsea Liverpool in 1982, so they didn't want me to do it.
Why is that? Because you're too chicken?
Yeah, I was something going when it comes to violence.
So can you give some your Swift history as well? So you're from DJ and CUP, stuff like that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, me and Andrew come from the same line, sort of.
Sweet suburbia.
Yes, sort of, you know.
Whereabouts?
Sorry?
Whereabouts?
Whereabouts?
Yeah, in London,
Well, originally I come from London. I mean, I'm from Slough now, but I'm not. Basically, I was DJing a bit longer than Andrew because I was into Rare Groove when Andrew was still an indie fan. So, like, my roots in this sort of indie scene are a little bit dodgy.
Yeah,
actually.
And we combined the two admirably, right?
Yeah.
And the song about, we combined the indie and the red
soul. And we've got what we are now.
So the rest is history.
So you DJed before ACA then? Yeah.
Not very much, just here and there, bits and pieces. Terry was doing more DJing than I was, but like it came to a stage like sort of 87, 88 when more rock records were beginning to sneak in. So we like a bit of a partnership. So we had the soul records, I had the rock records, and then as like my knowledge of soul got better, I did things on my own, and when as Terry's knowledge of rock got better, he did things on his own. So where we do pretty much, we were a partnership when we started, but now we do our own thing.
So when you start DJing, it's more like straight indie stuff.
It was, yeah. It was like I was saying to you earlier on, it was like 90% indie and a little bit of dance stuff, and like Terry was the other way around. But like we both combined. So I would say like 50-50 now for both of us, really.
So you start getting more into the rock stuff like the last couple of years or so?
Yeah, only in the last couple of years. Basically, as I say, through listening to like what Andrew's playing, and the fact that also like rock records were being played in clubs. Records like the Ribbon Top, Crashing Dumps, and the Clash started to be played, and like I still am basically a soul music fan.
Yeah.
And I'm basically, try and bring that to my records. Whereas probably Andrew approaches it from exactly the other side. He gets hold of a soul record and like makes it into a rock record. I get hold of a rock record, try and make it into a soul record. We both end up in the middle somewhere.
That's the best thing to do. It's just a combination of two good. There's good. Why not? The best records, the best dance records have always been combinations of things. Like hip hop use sort of craft work. And the Clash and things like that. So we're just doing now what's been done down the years, just mixing styles to make hopefully something new. And my knowledge is rock. Like Terry said, if I do a soul tune, I try and add a rock edge to it. And if Terry does a rock tune, he'll add a soul edge to it. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's not. I don't think some people might see it as like bastardising the form, but I don't. I see it as creating something new, a new form. It's not copying out. It doesn't mean we haven't got a knowledge. We've only got a sketchy knowledge of rock and soul. We've got a good knowledge of both, so why not combine the two?
Yeah. It's something that's so lucrative. It's surprised so people have actually picked up on it, really, isn't it?
Well, no, it's going to get out of hand, it's just another convenient label. It's like indie dance. I mean, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Like I said to you earlier, indie dance to me is a dance record that's made that's made on a low budget for the love of it. It doesn't matter if it's got guitars in it. An indie dance record could be a rock record, or it could be a house record. Indie to me means like homemade, made for the love of what they're doing, regardless if it's got heavy metal guitars or it's got a soulful piano on it. It doesn't matter. An indie dance record is an indie dance record. Now everyone seems to think indie dance means if it's guitars, it's an indie dance record, which is like a bit.
You've got to wear a silly pair of trousers and have a silly hat.
Yeah.
Well, that's got nothing to do with it. Like things like Warriors Dance Label in London, like Kid Baxter and that. That's their indie records.
Indie dance,
They're indie dance records, much more than what Rappy Mondays are.
Yeah.
Much more. And you know, there's stuff like that. You know, the Beloved aren't an indie dance group. You know, but you know,
the Beloved are a rock band who have gone towards dance leanings. They didn't set out to make indie dance records. You know, they're sitting in like 24-track studio making rock dance records. That's not indie dance. You know what I mean? But that's what they're being labelled as, indie dance. Because people think that it's got guitars and
they're white.
Yeah, and they're white.
If you're white, you're making a dance record.
Yeah.
The word indie comes up and it's got nothing to do with it.
So it's always been a bad term anyway. I was thought like.
Well, it's always been like a bit of an iffy term, I think, you know, by people who don't understand dance music.
Indie conjures up sort of like, I don't know, sort of like students, I know there's nothing wrong with that, but like, that's the sort of connotations you get, isn't it? It's like sort of dreary, you know, like, you know, the band that sums it up for me at the moment, the Lush, I mean, that is indie music, what I was called indie music. It's dreary, bedsit, indie music, you know, which has got nothing to do with dance. Indie, as I say, indie is just a term which means it's been made on the cheap. You know, and it's a dance record. That's what it means to us. And I was saying to you earlier, I don't want to be told, oh, we've got an indie. I'm getting all these people. Yeah, we've got this guitar track. We want you to remix it. And I said, well, it's just 'cause it's got guitars in it. It doesn't mean someone will be interested in it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to sort of like keep away from all those barriers.
So when you get approached to a track, do you see how you can enhance it, or do you strip it totally down? Because loaded is totally rebuilt.
From my point of view, what I do, I can't speak for what Terry does. He'll probably tell you in a minute. But what I do, as soon as I get a track, I listen to it and then find a beat from another record. That would fit in with it, and some samples. I spend like 3 days listening to the track, listening to the lyrics, and finding some samples from films and break beats and other bits and pieces that I think will gel together and that reflect the attitude of the band. And then take it from there. Once you've got a rhythm, the rest is a piece of piss. Once you've got a good rhythm, all you do then is build from the rhythm, get a good foundation. I think that's the same as what Terry does. It's just like
I make it up as it goes along.
Well, when you get a track like the Farms track, do you want to strip that down, start again?
Well, no, we produced a Farm track from
start.
Scratch.
Yeah.
You know, that was different.
So you got experience working in the studio before then?
No, none at all.
So you just as ideas through an engineer?
Essentially, yeah. As long as you've got a good engineer and you've got the ideas, then it's there.
If we knew the technicalities, we'd be engineers. We wouldn't be remixers, we'd be engineers. I myself, I've got a programmer I use, so I say to him like, do you know such and such record, I want the drum sound. He'll then translate it to the engineer. Like say, if we knew how to work an S1000, we'd be engineers. If we knew how to work a mixing desk, we'd be engineers, not remixers. We're being paid for our ideas, not for our technical ability. You know, I mean, we probably shouldn't say that in interviews that we don't really know what we're doing, but we do. We know we've got ideas, which is what we've been paid for, basically. Is our idea from a dance? We know what we've loaded. I knew exactly the feel I wanted. I knew that rhythm was kicking at the end of the night on the dance floor, so I used it. And so that's what they're paying for. They're paying for our DJing ideas. We know what's going to go down well on dance floors. Because we DJ at something like the most upfront clubs in London. We know what's going down on the dance floor.
It's like basically what they're paying for is like 15 years of like nightclubbing. You know, and the fact that like you know, we could say, you know, no, that would sound absolutely atrocious, and that would sound, you know, the engineer is like done his apprenticeship and we've done our apprenticeship, so to speak, and together, you know, you can work. It just works out really well.
It's why it never works. You get all these bands. They get people into a dance remix. And the band have never been to a club in their life. The remix has never been to a club in his life. So how's he going to know what people are dancing to? And like 5 times out of 10, they're a complete failure. That's why there's been an upsurgence. It's getting a bit tedious, like the DJ remix a bit, but they are the best people to get in to do a remix because they know what's going on. They see it at first hand, 3-4 nights a week. They see what's going on and they know what people are dancing to, which is why there's been such an upsurge in DJ remixes. Not just because it's a fashionable thing, although it's getting a bit like that. Because they're getting in DJs to do things and they're not really that good. They're just using them to have the name on it. But that's why it's happened. It's because you just have to look at the charts, the amount of club stuff in the charts. You know, so they've got to have someone that knows about clubs remixing their records, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the beat as well. It's like the stuff you put on top as well. It's like, which in this case, Primal Scream shows more imagination that band's used in about 3 years.
But that is down to the fact that, like, you know, them bands don't, you know, they're entering a market which basically they don't know about because they don't go out in like
sulfate.
That's the subject.
Sulfate wanks. Sorry, Terry.
And you know, there's just a feel about records that work at, you know, one particular time in a club will work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll work, and they're right. It don't matter how much sort of like money. It's just the ideas of it. You know, they're right for that moment in time. And unless you're out in clubs, you don't know what that feel is.
Yeah. So the current thing in clubs, the things get more slower, more.
It's getting more mellow, but like. It is getting mellow, but not in the sense that you know, many people think mellow. I mean, mellow. You know, we're talking about going mellow from 125 beats per minute, so yeah, it's not really mellow.
Like I'm saying, there's a lot of there are mellower tracks being played, but they're being played in isolation. Like you'll play, I mean, like with me, if I'm doing a set, I'll play like half an hour, I'll build it up quite fast, and then suddenly drop a really slow track. That's where the slow tracks come in. People aren't playing slow tracks all night. They just drop it. You know, there's much more effect if you drop a slow track in the middle of a set than there is playing slow tracks all night. That's where the slow.
Also, the fact is, you shouldn't really sort of think that this is a nationwide thing, or even like a London-wide thing. There isn't that many DJs who are on our, you know, to what we do. Most of them think we're like, you know, a pair of wankers for like playing such fancy music.
I know. I've been to clubs around the country.
Even in London, you know, if you go to the East End of London and listen to what like they're into, it's a million miles away than what we're doing.
It's what sort of stuff they look to play.
Well, they're into like really fast,
heavy
hard,
house,
aggressive house.
The
same, you know, and
it's a real evil. It's almost like an evil side to it. I mean, they picked up on the word evil and mental and things like that. It's because like a lot of them are aggressive people anyway. You know what I mean? They come from an aggressive background. They reflect that in their clubs and what they play. They have to be aggressive. You know, they start dropping sort of soulful, melodic tunes. They're going to be like laughed at the club. It's a bit of a shame, but and as Terry said, there's not many people doing it. I see top 20s of DJs, and like it's all the bog standard top 20 house tunes. There's not one ounce of imagination in there at all. You know, no one's using. I mean, when I write a top 20 out, I don't try and be flash and be different. It's just what I play. You know, what's the point? You know, if every other DJ's playing like the top 20 house tunes, you should try and do something different. Which is what we both try and do.
So it's like you say before, it's like a distinctive thing. Like.
Yeah, it's what you feel. I mean, we've always done from day one is play what we want to play, what we think is good. It's been a right uphill struggle. We've both had like real grief from people.
We're lucky that the fact that like the crowds we play to are into our music, you know. But I would know that if I was asked to play, you know, somewhere in the East End of London, or if I was asked to play, you know, somewhere in Manchester on a Saturday night, I would be having bottles thrown at me, you know, and like.
I think in Manchester you don't put out trouble at the House of Handle, which is pretty straight.
Yeah, you know, but like, I'd have trouble in 9 out of 10 house clubs in London. People would be going to me, what the fuck are you doing?
So what sort of stuff are you playing at the moment? Like quite a crossover and stuff? Or?
You know, I play anything from like 70s.
What colour is it?
To sort of like reggae. To, you know, I just play anything. Do you know what I mean? I play like, you know, Two Hearts, Phil Collins. You know what I mean? You know, I've played that actually to like 1,000 people, and had like 999 of them looking at me with mouths open, and like, I enjoyed it. You know,
confrontational DJ.
You know, I liked it, and like, you know, I'm never going to ever play records I don't like. And like, you know, the day that everyone else stops liking them records, then that's the day I don't work anymore.
I think 75% of DJs play records they don't really like.
Yeah, our DJs. You know, me and Andrew, I don't think of professional DJs. We're people who play records.
Professional DJs play records that are current and they know they've got to play.
They play to the crowd.
You look at their top 20s and you think, well, no, they don't. You know, they don't really like the record, but they've got to play it.
Right.
You know, and they're like, you know, they're professional DJs. The fact that they're working in Solaris or whatever probably means they're a bit more hip. But at the end of the day, they're playing the same tunes. I see a top 20 of a DJ that say plays in a London club, and I see someone like, you know, that plays in a Mecca club up north, and there's hardly any difference. They're playing the same records, and it's not, you know, so just because he's playing in Solaris on a Sunday or Confusion or something, you know, somehow makes him a bit hipper, but he's playing nothing different than the Mecca DJ is playing, you know? Like a mass market sort of DJ, which is, I don't know, I suppose it's a bit of a sad state of affairs, but then again, if everyone was like out on a limb, where would we be? At least we're getting work because we're being out on a limb. You know what I mean? It's good that these people are doing what they're doing because it means we can react against it. You know. if everyone was playing just what they wanted, it would like, you know, there'd be a reaction.
Sometimes I quite enjoy getting an empty dance floor because it means that I've done. You know, I'd rather people like.
That people are thinking.
I'd rather actually people leave a gig and say that was brilliant or that was absolutely shit. Right, you know, that was awful. He played some awful records. Rather than, you know, what was the, you know, I ask people, you know, what was it like Saturday night? And they say, yeah, it was all right. What was the music like? And I don't know really. Standard. I don't really know. There's no reaction to it. You know, I'd rather someone said that fucking Terry Farley is awful. They hated my music.
You've got to stick to your guns. You've got to play what you want because you know in months, you know that you're playing. Like I played the other day and I had acetates of things. And I knew in a couple of weeks' time or months they're going to be top tunes. But it cleared the dance floor. But you know that there's going to be someone in that club that heard that record and knows and has got knowledge and realises what you're doing. And so you're going to get work. If you compromise, you're going to lose work.
A reaction is what we're after.
Yeah.
And it don't matter what reaction it is. Do you know what I mean? Just to make people dance and just to make people.
It's easy to make.
It's easy. That, you know, my mum could do that. I could give her the top 20 Italian house records.
Is that actually you from the start when you start DJ?
Huh?
Is that what you do right from the start, or is it?
Yeah, because I was only ever like, you know, I had a load of records and people said, you know, will you play here? You know, we like your records. I never went up to somewhere and said, I want to be a DJ. People asked me to play records that
it's like knowledge of music. The reason we got work is because we had a knowledge of music. You know what I mean? Not just we weren't doing it and we still don't do it to this day to you know, be like DJ as personality, because if the most important thing in your career is getting your boat in magazines, then obviously music is secondary. With us it's the other way around. Music is the most important, and then getting your face in a magazine is, if that happens, it happens. I don't particularly like it, but because then if you do appear in magazines a lot, people think that's what you're doing it for. You're not doing it because you like the music, you're doing it because you like the publicity, which is like not why we do it. We never have been like that, you know?
Yeah. Should we get paid for this?
No,
Where did we talk about?
Get my best side.
This is your best side.
I'm just going to go and change. Change clothes.
You know, to be honest with you, you know, we could earn a lot of money by playing at places that are considered TED and all that. But when I go back and ask like the people who come to our clubs, you know, to come to that, they would like reject us. Do you know what I mean? And they would accuse us of selling out. So like, you know, we appreciate them people who are like into what we do. More
the people that come to see us over the last couple of years, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be what we're doing now. We wouldn't be sitting in this studio. I wouldn't be working with people that I've admired for years. I wouldn't have them fun. If it weren't for the people that weren't afraid to, you know, go out on a limb and say they liked what we were doing, you know, because we have got a lot, still get a lot of stick, but. You know, that's like I say, you find your market, you stick to what you do and what you like, and you find your market. If you start compromising, you lose out. Because the people you're compromising for don't like you because they think you're compromising, and the people that, you know, your original...
And basically, I used to play at Future, and about 4 weeks ago I was DJing, and some like a mainstream house fan come in the DJ booth and said like, you're fucking shit, mate. When you going off, when's Terry Farley on? He's really good. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that just about sums it all up, really. You know, sort of like, you know, we're not house DJs. We're not mainstream DJs, and like, you know, we're not like the big thing. Do you know what I mean? We haven't started some like big movement. Do you know what I mean? We just play records we like.
That's it. So what DJing should be all about anyway is playing music you like. How the fuck do records get? You know, how do records get popular if it's not for people sticking their neck out? Like, I'm playing records. I've played records like I've had records say 2 months, and I start playing them, and I've been threatened. And and then like 2 months later, someone's coming up and saying, "Well, what's this record? This is brilliant." And I'm like, "Well, fuck off! You threatened me last time I played it." How do people expect new records to come through if all you're doing is playing the old, you know, the house top 20? Someone's got to play them. You know, it's really frustrating. But the other night I did a gig, and I had half of my set was brand new records. I hadn't played this club for months, and I was really excited. Half my set was new records. I'm playing away, and suddenly oh mate, have you got Stone Roses? Have you got Tainted Love? And I'm like, and they look at you and you say, no, I haven't got it. And they say like, well, call yourself a DJ. And I'm going, well, look, all these records are brand new. No, you know, no one's. This is the first time. Some of them are acetates. This is the first time anyone in the country is hearing these records. And you want to hear the Stone Roses? Like, you're 17 years old. You're young. You should be like open-minded about it. And it only takes one. But you could be playing to 500 people. 499 of them could be having the best time in their life, but it only takes one person to come up and go, oh mate, you're shit. And it puts you on a downer. You forget the 499 having a good time. You just remember the one knobhead that's terrorised you all night. But you're going to get that whatever you do. You know, you're going to get. It's always one in the crowd that, you know, doesn't know what's going on. Even if you're playing in the best club in the world, there's going to be one person, some sort of like pissed mate of a mate, you know, who's got in somehow that's going to terrorise you. But there you go.
At what point did you go from DJing? To the mixing side?
Well, for me, it was like, I think for Terry as well. It was through Paul Oakenfold. He got to know the Happy Mondays, and I asked him to remix stuff. I mean, I don't know. It appears to me he got us in because we knew more about the Happy Mondays than he probably did, and we knew more about the band, so we could have injected a feel that he may not have had for the band. And like, basically that was it. I mean, Terry did Rope for Luck, I did Hallelujah, and Terry did the other side of Hallelujah, and from then on it's like the phone ain't stopped ringing. But that was basically it was as simple as that. It was what you know, but it was also who you know. The fact that we knew Oki and he knew what wavelength we were on, we were on the same wavelength as him, so he got us in. You know, it was a case of because we knew him. But then again, if we didn't know, if we couldn't cut it, we would have fucked up. It was a knowledge of him as well as the music. You know? It's a mixture of both. It wasn't just like nepotism, like, oh, let's get some DJs in to remix it. He knew we had the knowledge of the music.
At the end of the day, if the records that we do are shit, then like, you know, they're shit. You know what I mean? Having mine and Andy's name on it means nothing to some like kid living in Southend. You know what I mean? He don't know us. Yeah. You know, and you know, the records have got to stand up. Either they're either good or bad. You know.
For someone like me, if I see your name's a record now next year, I'm going to think this is going to be like a very interesting reshuffling the original idea.
You will, and probably like a lot of people in our circle know, but to some kid in Southend, you know, the record's got to be good enough, and that's the most important thing, really. You know, there's loads of people that, you know, for a fact, we've done that Petrol Motion record, and I talked to another DJ, and he said, oh, I heard that record, it was really good, I really liked it, brilliant. And I said to him, oh, you will play it? He goes, oh no, it's not the sort of thing that I'd play. And like, but he only liked it because it was our record.
Oh right,
you know,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not really important. The important thing is, like, as I say, some kid, you know, 17-year-old in Southend who buys the record and likes it. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing.
So how'd you get to the Petrols ones? They just ring you up or something?
Yeah, just basically rang us up,
I don't think they had any confidence in this whatsoever. I think that was a total like move. That was a total A&R move. Like, oh look, these. You know, he's obviously picked up ID and gone like, oh look, let's have these two. No confidence in us whatsoever. They left the guitarist in there for like 2 days. They really didn't think we were going to cut it. And as it goes, I think we've turned out a really good record. Good. I mean, they love it. They're going mad for it. Virgin are putting all their weight behind it. And we were like stitched up a bit. Like the deal we got on it was like we didn't get much money out of it. And you know, they've got a really good deal. They've got our name on the record. When they, you know, that's all they wanted basically. They just wanted no, they've got both. They've got our name and they've got a good record. You know what I mean? And we've got like not very much money each. You know what I'm saying? But you learn about this. You know, it's all part of the learning process about the business. You know, next time it's get a lawyer.
It's just, you know, like with the farm thing. You know, that for me that's a matter of like, you know, so the money don't come into it. It's something I've always wanted to do. You know, the band is sort of very much a level of what Boys Own was all about. And
wasn't Boys Own inspired by their fanzine anyway?
Yeah, for me it was, but that was through my background.
It was for everyone, even me. I mean, I'm not from a football background, but I found that magazine extremely funny. And it was like it was an inspiration. It's like, let's do that, let's do a Southern version of that magazine. But I mean, like Terry said, anything we do is like it's not purely, it's not for the money at all. I've turned down loads of things like in the last couple of weeks, which has made me a lot of money, but I would have got no enjoyment. And you know, you've got to think of it as a career. You've got to do things. I want to make records which people remember. You know, classic dance records or classic rock records. I want them to stand out. I don't want a large bank balance and a load of shit records. I'd like to be comfortably off and be proud of what I've done. This is what I'm doing. I'm just weeding out. I just want to do things I want to do. for bands that come to me for the right reason. Like the Farm went to Terry for the right reason because they knew he had the right attitude and knew where he was coming from. So I'm trying to do the same work with bands that want to work with me because of my attitude towards things, not just to get my name on the record or whatever. But, obviously the money's nice, but that's not the be all and end all. I'd rather work with someone. The last thing I did was for nothing. I worked for nothing. No fee. I'm just going to see how the record goes because it's friends and I enjoyed doing it.
Who's that?
That's Sly and Love Child.
Oh right, yeah.
English house band, and it's turned out really well, and it'll do something. But money wasn't the prime movement. Was that they were friends and it was a good track, so I did it. And then I said sort me out when you can sort me out. It's probably not the way to do things in the music industry, but that's just me. You know what I mean? It's the way we both work. We don't know the ins and outs of the music business.
I think when we do know the ins and outs, and when we do start thinking like music business people, it's been when we start like going wrong really.
When we start going to fucking record industry parties and all that shit, then
when we start worrying about
shifting units in the crossover market and all that bollocks, that's when you lose the feel.
That's when it goes, and
That's when, a lot of people get sucked up into the sort of the lifestyle of it all. Take a look around you in here now, and see, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's that sort of, even down to the way you dress and what you wear. It's all, it's all like bog standard. It's like out of a book. I'm in the music business. Like, get me a pair of Reeboks and a tour jacket. It's like. Once you prime, if you're in it just because you like being in the music industry, what the fuck are you doing in it? You should be in it because you like the music, which is what we do. Call us idealistic, but there you go.
Yeah.
When I had to go out and get a lawyer today, and it was like fuck, this isn't fun anymore. This is like a job. I've got to go and get a lawyer and an accountant. For fuck's sake, what's going on? This is not how it should be. But there we go.
Tell us a bit about Boy's Own stuff then.
What, the magazine?
Yeah.
Started 3 or 4 years ago, and Terry's words in my front room were, let's do a fanzine at the end, or words to that effect, and so we did. Simple as that. We were still the laziest. To be honest with you, if we'd treated it more like a business, we'd have made a fucking rake of cash last year, but we'd have lost the spirit of what it's all about. We just do it when we want to do it, when we feel it's right, and it's got to where it is today, where we've got a bit of we've got more than a bit of influence, but we're still done for the love of it, not to get ourselves known. You know what I mean? Although we're getting a bit of a high profile, you won't see pictures of us everywhere, and you won't see our thoughts on this, that, and the other. I mean, like this interview and the one for NME, I think that's about all that's all I want to do. For a long time. Who's interested? I hate these people. They get propelled into sort of like a position of fame or whatever, and I think they've got a right to comment on everything. You know what I mean? From world politics to whatever. And just because they've sold some records doesn't mean to say they've got a knowledge of politics or whatever. You know what I mean? Just trying to avoid that. I think, speak for both of us, we just want to be left alone to make good music, to make good records. You know what I mean? Just like very, quite anonymously, not high profile. Just like be left alone to do what we want to do, as we've always done. It's like with DJing as well. Just leave us alone.
I think all our statements are made through the magazine anyway.
Yeah.
It's like there are a lot of people out there who, like 2 years ago, sort of thought our fanzine was a pretty. I don't know. We was like.
Oh, we weren't hip. We weren't glamorous. We weren't West End. We were just like scummy sort of thugs, that didn't really know what was going on. And now all of a sudden, people that were not letting us in their club like 2-3 years ago, now ringing us up and asking us our opinions on how to run their clubs, which is like really fucking weird, But it's not that we haven't worked for that. It's just us being us. People think we've worked, we've worked ourselves, we've tried to work out into the position. We haven't. We've just. It's the same. Anyone that remains true to their ideals gets there in the end. Anyone that compromises falls by the wayside, which is why we haven't fallen by the wayside. We haven't compromised. We've done what the fuck we want to do with the magazine, with what with DJing, with music, with everything. Simple as that. But I mean, like I say, the magazine is like it was simple as that. It just started off 3-4 years ago. Let's do a fanzine, reflecting what all it was like a lot of it was in jokes. It was like what us and our mates did on a Saturday or on a Friday night. Simple as that. And it just happened to strike a chord because loads of other people were doing that as well. It wasn't just us and our mates. It was loads of other people as well doing it. So it picks up from there.
That's always one of the best sort of magazines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we're not we get read by a lot of people because it gets passed around, but we're not going to start going all sort of ID and like multinational on it.
I think the house, we had you know, the magazine had an attitude, basically, that was reflected like in the house explosion, and like a load of people sort of come round to the magazine. Never like come round, you know, a lot of people come round to like the magazine's way of thinking, as opposed to like us reflecting other people's you know, ideas. You know, a lot of people suddenly thought, this is,
Someone was saying, we were saying what people would believe for a long time, you know what I mean, for a long time. What we were saying was like, let's get a bit down to earth. There's no, you know, let's not be precious about what we do. At the end of the day, it's only nightclubs, you know, they're not that important. What's more important is what you do afterwards and what you read and what you listen to. Nightclubs are good fun, but like, just because you can get into a nightclub, don't mean to say you're better than, you know, the guy next to you. And I think a lot of people wanted to say that, but they were scared in case they couldn't get into the nightclubs, you know what I mean? So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. We actually came out and said it, and I think it struck a chord with people that you could do clubs, you could go to clubs and listen to, you know, upfront music, but not be precious about it and not worry about, you know, not worry about being accepted. It was just like everyone in there, get in there, have a good time, go home, and go around people's houses, get plotted and whatever. And we reflected that. And
the magazine basically takes a piss out of a lot of people, which other people sort of are scared to do. You know, there's a humour in it that, like, you know, we take the piss out of each other, and like, you know, sticks given out equally to, like, you know, us as well as other people. And you know, 2 years ago that wasn't acceptable. Now it seems like all the rage. You know, you only got to pick up the NME, and it's sort of like, you know, they're using words in there that like have been like standard use in like Boys Home for 2 years, and you know, everyone's giving out stick left, right, and centre.
Especially to you this week.
That's all right. I mean, like, at the end of the day, you know, that's the sort of thing that, like, you know,
you're going to get it.
Keep
it does. It keeps you on your toes, doesn't it?
Yeah. And, like, you know, for as many people who like think that I'm a good DJ, you know, there's twice as many who think I'm a fucking useless cunt.
We both had a lifetime.
You know what I mean? And that's all right. You know, it's better than a load of people thinking I'm all right. You know, I don't want to be all right at anything. You know, I want to be hated or to be liked. I don't want to be.
It sharpens you up. I mean, I've had a lifetime. I've had like the past 10 years of being like, you know, I've been physically like abused and like terrorised for like either the way I look or what I say. But it keeps you on your toes. It's given me the attitude that I've got. And you know, it's just the way it keeps you on your toes. It's like a sort of survival instinct, you know. Sometimes you feel like upsetting people just so it keeps you on your toes. You keep feeling a bit sort of like lazy. It's like, well, let's attack someone and see what happens, and you know, right away. So not talking violently. I mean, cause like, you know, if I hear a fight, I'm off the other way as quick as possible. But like, verbal and written violence is brilliant. It really keeps you sharp. That's what we're about. We're not about physical violence. We're about mental violence. You know, we're about quick-witted. Yeah, no, not violence.
That last word.
No, I was going to say really awful. Psychological violence. Psychological violence. You know, trying to jar the senses, get people to do something. You know, even if it's to write in and tell us you're a bunch of cunts. At least they've done something. At least we've spurred someone to think about something. You know, it's not just like we don't write the magazine right. It's like with ID, they write like, this is the latest shirt, this is the latest record. And, oh, haven't you got it? Oh yeah, you know, you really are. You must live in the sticks or something. We're not like that. We're like, this is the latest record. We think this is good. What do you think? You know what I mean? But with ID, it's like, this is this. Like, and if you don't like it, then you know, there's obviously something wrong with you.
So what are the next projects you do? What are you doing after the fall?
Nothing. Back to DJing. We got basically I'm going to do some work on the magazine. Get a magazine, get a edition of Boys Home out. We've got a duo. I can't think of a word that, like, you know, that doesn't, you know, rave. It's not a rave. We've got a disco on, the party on, which
an entertainment, entertainment,
which Flowered Up will be playing alongside Keith Allen. With DJs. You know, it's in April. We'll be doing that.
We've got a film club as well we're going to do.
Film club on Saturday night.
It's just about 100 people showing our favourite films, like 3 films in a night, go and have a drink and sit and watch a film. Go home. Go home, you can't have house music all night long every Saturday, it gets really tedious. So to have a break and actually watch something like constructive and like sit and have a chat and get plotted, it's ideal. It's like anything we do, it's a bit different. It's more, there's more to clubs and like loud music. So when we do something, we'll like provide, even if like some of the clientele provide the entertainment by dressing up as flowers and wine cows, we always get something to come from. Yeah, we're just trying.
I think for most sort of like, it shouldn't be taken too seriously. For most sort of like 17-year-old people who go to discos, sort of like having a slog in the corner with some young bird and getting a good, bonus to do it for someone is much more important than like me and Andrew actually like playing some obscure record trip. And I think, we should realise that.
Just provide the soundtrack with the background music to what they're doing.
We're the soundtrack to their life, Their life isn't us, and we're not changing it.
It's good that also like if say they've had a good snog and a good E, and they've heard the records that we played, if they then can go out and buy that record and it reminds them of the good snog and the good E, well then we've done our job. We've done our job properly. If we can provide them a soundtrack, for weeks to come, and it brings good feelings, that's what we do. You try to promote a good feeling. That's why I'm trying to get off on this aggressive music. Aggression on the dance floor and records with swearing in and things like that. We're like, what memories do they bring back? It's not being soft. It's like dancing is a celebration. Going out is a celebration of good times, not aggression, not fighting. So you got to feel good for that.
It's basically, every time when I see you again by the 3 degrees, my legs go wobbly. And I get visions of Chelsea Ball 1976. And that's what music should be. I still remember that DJ and what he played. I remember hearing Casey and the Sunshine Band and for the first time and copping off the Sunbird for the first time. And hopefully, in 2 years' time, someone will say, that Andy Weatherall, he played that record when I was going out with little Linda from South London or something, and that's really what music's, that's what it's about, really.
It's not nostalgia. It's not nostalgia. It's just being happy, remembering good times. We're not saying 10 years ago is better than now, because we're having a good time now. But we're saying 10 years ago was good, and so is now. We're just providing a soundtrack for good times.
We're like the Simon Bates out tune.
We're not on a nostalgia trip. We just want people to remember a year for good things, not for aggressive reasons, but for good reasons. And hopefully we do that, as opposed to some DJs that it's just all aggression and
you can't. Basically you can't remember, couple of Sunbird listening to the Guillotine or something like, I don't know, Strings of Life. We're not going to play that to your piece. Say this is our tune, are you? Whereas if you sort of stick on Loaded, you can remember whatever,
That's a classic, that one.
a tongue sandwich.
So you mix any of the stuff then afterwards at all?
Huh?
You doing
We're talking about a Gary Cloud thing that me and Andrew are going to be asked to work with.
Is that beef? That's beef.
Yeah.
What do you think of Gary Cloud's stuff?
I think beef's brilliant. The rest, to me, is a little bit hard to get into, but then, as I say, I come from a soul background, so Andrew probably can get into it a lot more than what I can.
Yeah, I've listened to all new sound stuff, since day one. It is very hard edge. I just think it's I don't know, it's he's a very clever guy. He's tapped into to a feeling, that sort of heavy dub sort of style that I think that's coming into, that's being played a lot, and it's with thoughtful lyrics. Gary Craig, he's so relevant, and he's been picked up really well. For others to pick up, I think it's a really good move.
It's really worth persevering with. For me, it's hard for me to get into it, but it's music for quality. Music for progressive music.
Yeah,
worth persevering with.
Gary Clay, here we are in 1990, and for someone, I always admire someone, even if if I don't like the music, if I hear a record and go, oh, that must be so-and-so, to create a new sound in 1990, it must be so difficult after all these years. I know the technology's getting different, but to create your own sound, it's the same with remixes and production. If I hear a remix, even if I don't like it, like Graham Park and Mike Pickering, I don't particularly like the remixes, but to their credit, when I hear a remix of theirs, I know it's them. That's the whole point of getting a remixer in, is to have some sort of identity stamp. And with Gary Clayle, he's created such a sound for the 90s. It's the soundtrack for the 90s, and that sounds a bit naff, right? But it's a very 90s hard-edged, like, political sound, which is why it's going to do so well, you know? Yeah. You know, and to link it in with the Mondays and stuff like that, it's like really, you know, it falls into place with that sort of stuff really well.
Yeah, he's brilliant guy.
Yeah, he's out there on a limb, he's a madman. It's the same, like, anyone that he just sticks to what he does. Fuck everybody else. I want to do what I want to do, and like, you know, it's that sort of attitude always wins through. Like Gary Clayle's been going for years. It's only just now that he's come through, but that's because he stuck to his guns. If he'd have compromised 2 years ago, he'd be fucking nowhere now. Yeah. He's sat in his studio and gone, like, you fuckers, I'm going to do what I want to do, and it's worked. So yeah, and it's like a bit of an honour to be, you know, it's nice to be asked to work with stuff like that, because that's stuff I've been listening to for years. It's how can I phone up and say, do you want to work on it? It's like, yeah, you know, let's do it.
What can you do to add to it? I mean,
well, I'm sure we can think of something. I mean, I haven't listened to it for a while, but I'm sure there's, you know, there's things you can do. You just strip it down to its bare bones and then build it again. You can, you know, for the dancer, you could elongate it, you could beef it up, make it louder, you know, add little bits, you know, samples you could add to it. There's loads of things you can do. You could do, you know what I mean, if you had long enough, you could do 3 or 4 mixes of that song and add something different each time. There's loads that can be done with it, you know. Yeah. From a dance, you know, from a dancer point of view, without detracting from its message or from its power, there's loads to do. I can't, you know, off the top of my head, I'm not going to sit here now and tell you what to do with it. But, you know, there's loads to do. Next question.
Is there any other projects involved in at all after the
Yeah, I'm doing The Grid, which is Richard Norris and Dave Ball out of Softcell, doing like a really nice mellow sort of hip-hop orientated track, and a track hopefully for Linda Love, who used to be in S Express, and another, I'm not supposed to tell anyone what it is, but it's an indie rock thing, a new band, and it's the best thing I've heard. I've got the tape home, and I've been played it by a record company who remain nameless, and it's the best track I've heard in the past 6 months. Really sums up the feeling on dance halls in London at the moment, and hopefully they've asked me to do it.
Is it no groove then?
No, totally unknown quantity, but I think there's like several people going for them, so I won't say what it is. I'll tell you afterwards. So. It's the best track I've heard in 6 months. Yeah. It's the best thing I've heard in 6 months.
It's not the groove Jeff's got on about, is it?
No. He's not going to get it out of me. I've got a couple of things. I've done a track for Sly and Love Child, an English house band. That should be coming out soon. And that's about it. I've turned down some things, bits and pieces, but you know, just because I want to do what I want, you know, things that I like. Simple as that. Yeah, that's we're just waiting. Like I say, that picture of emotion, I think, will surprise a lot of people when that comes out. So I don't want to be stuck in that that rock dance thing. That's why I've done 2 house tracks, just to show people.
Yeah, I'd rather be asked to sort of do, you know, a soul record, you know, than like to sort of like, you know, he's been asked to do white goods. Yeah. You know, and if you come along to one of our gigs, you know, I play records by Jocelyn Brown, by the OJs, by Teddy Pendergrass, you know, and people expect to offer me like, you know, the sound of Manchester all night long, and I do not play them records, you know. I would play anything from the Northern Soul records or reggae records. It'd be nice to be asked to do something, you know, something black. Yeah. You know, it tests me a little bit more. And
so I'd imagine that's much more sophisticated.
Sorry?
I'd imagine producing that sort of stuff's much more sophisticated.
I don't know, I wouldn't feel so.
What's the matter with it? What's the matter with introducing the raw edge to it?
Yeah, I mean, that has been the fall down of black music for the last few years. It is too sophisticated.
It's just like disco.
Quincy Jones is without doubt the best producer in the world, and his records are fucking boring because he's too good. Yeah. He's too good. There isn't one edge in his records. You know, that last album. You know,
it's too bogged down with technicality.
It's just too good. You know, every note is perfect. Every voice is perfect.
So we don't know that. We don't know the technicalities. We don't know know the technicalities, so we can't get too polished. We're always going to have rough edges because we don't know how to smooth the edges off. You know what I mean? Once we start getting carried away with the technicalities, that's the day we should give up.
You know, the best reggae was always made on 16 track or an 8 track. You know, the best soul records have got records all the way through.
Primal Scream was made in like a little, 8 track in Walthamstow in someone's front room. It's a raw edge. Yeah. You lose. The bigger you get, the more you lose that raw edge, and you lose the feel to it. End of interview.